Well, hello again. Everybody still doing okay out there? As you can see, I still have a mess. No great surprise there. Okay, couple things. We are going to work on our Foli-o-li-oes, just because I like saying that. But before I get into it, I told you I was going to review this product. I've been using it on my folios so far. Okay, this is Tombow Mono Liquid Glue Aqua. It's a clear kind of gel glue. It's not like Fabri-Tac. It might kind of sort of look like it a little bit. Will it zero in or zoom in there? All right, so this is what it is. It has two tips. It has this one, which is very small. I would venture to say the bead of glue that comes out of here is equal to when you have that little extra cap on your art glitter glue. When you have this one that gives you the little bitty, all right, I like this one better. I have to say, I like the tip. I'm referring to the tip right now. I like this tip better because you don't have to constantly clean it out with the pen. You don't have to worry about where you left the pen. I've used it all day long. You can see I've used quite a bit of glue. I've used like down to here. I'm tilting it right now. But anyway, this one doesn't seem to clog. I don't know if it has to do with the type of glue or if it has to do with the fact that this is so much shorter, this little tip here, and so it probably drains quicker is what I'm thinking. It doesn't stay up in the tip so long. But anyway, I really like the tip. Now, it has another end that, to be honest, I was kind of skeptical about. I thought, see, I've seen this glue on a couple of different websites, and I thought it was kind of gimmicky. I was wrong. I didn't think this end would work very well. It works great. It's a really soft, like a rubbery, and it almost brushes the glue on. If you want to do a large area, like I did the flaps when I put these folios together. You remember in our first video we showed how you put the flap down in here and you put the flap down in there, and I covered the whole flap with this glue, which I'm thinking now was probably not necessary. So I really like this so far. It seems to have a nice strong bond. It says that it's acid free and you can use it on photos and paper, etc., etc. Here's the one thing I did notice. If you put a sheet of it down, if you use this end, the broad end, and you do a large area, it is kind of wet. So I did get just a little bit of buckling on a couple of these, but I laid it down thick. I laid it down heavy. It does stay wet for a minute. I mean, not a long time. It was actually absolutely perfect for doing this because it's a gel and it slid really well and I got wiggle room. So being able to tuck this flap in this side while at the same time trying to put this one in here, it was really perfect for that. I'm really glad that I found it. It worked really well. I put all these sheets down with this glue too, but I did not use the broad tip and I did not do a whole slathering of it. I did it just like I did the art glitter glue and went, just did a little bead, and it is not, it's so nice and fine that it does not leave a mark. You can't see it under there. If you put some glues in, whatever, but it's such a fine tip and you get such a thin bead that it does really well. So I'm liking this glue. This bottle at Joann Fabric sells for $5.49. Once in a while, Joann's has a 60% off coupon, which I happened to have last night when I went and bought it. I paid $2.01 for this Tombow glue. Yeah, definitely worth that every single time. You can also get it on Amazon. I do not remember how much Amazon wanted for it, but it was between $5 and $6, I believe, if I remember that correctly. So probably about the same price as regular price at Joann's. But Joann's almost always has a coupon out there. So I think I'm going to stock up. This is just a little over an ounce. It's a little over an ounce and a half. It's 50 milliliters or 1.69 ounces. So I'm going to go through it pretty quick. I've done 4 of these folios. I've used a little less than half of it. Probably a little more than a third, a little less than a half. So, yeah. But for $2, I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. And I don't think you'd want it in a much larger package because of the dual tips and I don't know, I really like it so far. So far, I have no complaints. The only one note is that if you use a solid sheet of it, it will be kind of wet. So on paper, you're probably going to get some buckling. So that's my review of the Tombow Mono Glue Aqua. They also make another one in a similar package that you can use as permanent or temporary. It's a white glue, and if you put it on your paper and put it down while it's wet, you get a permanent bond. But if you put it on your paper and allow it to air dry for a few minutes, it's just tacky, and then it creates a bond that is temporary, so you can move things around. So it'll be interesting to try that. It is the same price, but you get less product. So, I don't know. We'll be trying it soon. I don't work for Tombow. I'm not, there's, they don't sponsor me or anything. Nobody sponsors me. So if you'd like to, please send money. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Not looking for money. But anyway, no, I like it so far. All right. So here's where we're at. I have all 4 of the Foli-o-li-oes. It's just fun to say. Say it a couple times. You'll like it. Or maybe not. Okay. Here's what I have done. This is the one I think I had done when I was doing my my unboxing of the R Atelier order. Okay, so this one, I don't even know what the paper pad is, y'all. It's an old one that I just had sitting around. I apologize that I can't tell you what it is. It was a 6x6 pad, I believe. And I basically used up the last 8 sheets that I had. So here it is. It just was the end of a pad. I need to put something in here. So you end up with these little, if you're using a 6x6 piece, you're going to end up with a strip that's 1 3/4 inches. So they work really good for putting in there, but I just haven't done this one. I haven't put the little, you know what I'm talking about, right? Put a piece of paper in there so that you don't see the manila envelope through the thumb punch thingy. And I found that it's better, or for me, it worked better to put the paper on and then punch it out. The reason is if you do your thumb hole first, if you get it too deep, that upper part of your envelope is going to show. All right, because there's, you know, how it has that little curve in there. Can you see? There's a curve in there, and if you punch this too deep and then you glue it on, then a little sliver shows. So I just glued them on and then just opened it up like that, and I was able to get my punch in there. I was using, where is it? Oh my goodness, I can't find anything. I was using, it's a pretty good size, it's just a circle punch. You know those, there it is, my goodness, here it is. So I was using a 1 3/4 inch, got schmutz on it. Anyway, I could open it and get it in there and, you know, see what I was punching, and it worked just fine for me since nothing's sewn in and this and that. So that's that. So this is one that I did. So there's the papers on that one with a little bit of foiling. The back is kind of plain. we'll decorate it, no worries. So that was one, and this one, since it was, some of these papers I could have used a black ink on, but since we had brown, I didn't want to use it, so I went with an espresso because it's a darker distress ink, darker brown. It's kind of in between a brown and a black, so I went with that for this one. Then we have, this is the 12 by 12 pad that I showed from Tim Holtz, and it's called Memoranda, I believe. Memoranda. I also haven't lined these little bits here, but this is what I got covered for that one. So this one is obviously going to be a more vintagey feel to it. This one, and this one are from the same pad. It's another one that I've had for quite some time. It's Heidi Swapp Sugar Chic. And I used about half of the pad because there are 16 different images. So I used half of the pad. I'm going to be using these cut aparts too when it comes time to decorate. I'll be using some of these for ephemera probably. And it was just half of that pad was enough to do two folios, because you need 8 for each, and there's 16 different ones. So there you go. Do the math on that. It equals 2, doesn't it? Okay. So here's one that has a plain front, and we're going to decorate it. Again, I haven't done these because I'm going to be sewing in this one. So it's the only one that I put my liner papers in so far. So there's the inside of that one, the back, and then the storage area. Oh, and I meant to put a pocket. I'm going to take the cut off piece of this. It's in here somewhere, I think. These are all my leftover bits that I haven't used yet. I want to cover up at least some of that floral because it's just a little bit much for me personally, but it may not be for everybody. I don't know if I'll put that there or if I'll go with something else. We'll figure that out when we get there. But anyway, so that's that one. And the one I'm going to work on signatures right now on is this one. So I went with a black and white diagonal stripe on the front. I've got some loud zebras and pink. I know it's pink, y'all. And then I've got this beautiful aqua with kind of the zebra over here with the turquoisey, greeny, whatever. Polka dots on the back to kind of contrast with the front. And then on the inside, I have the snow leopard with, the blue already in. And then I had a pink, and it wasn't shimmery like that in the pack. I actually had done some glitter sprays on it, so I thought, well, that's cute. I'll just go ahead and use it. And then I took the end of, the cut off bit of this, and I made a little pocket over here, so we'll have a place to tuck some stuff, whatever we end up with. And that's that. All right. I am going to sew in 2 signatures. One here, one here. Now, I like to reinforce where I'm sewing my signatures. So, I want to put, I think, fabric on the outside. Maybe strips of fabric. Or, what are my other options? Ooh. You know what I think would look good on this one? I'll be right back, because I think I know something that'll look good right there. If I have enough. I think I have enough. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm still here. Oh, yeah, I've got plenty. I got a whole roll of this. Ha, 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 ha. All right. So what I'm going to reinforce these with, oh yeah, that's just going to be too purty. Isn't that too stinking purty? I'm digging it. Okay. So I am going to put, you could use fabric, but in this case, since it's such a narrow, you know, our page isn't that wide anyway, because usually I like it to hang over, you know. I wrap things around the spine so you get a little fabric on the front and a little on the back. But since our page is narrow to begin with, I think we'll be okay to just put, we're just going to put this little narrow bit of satin ribbon, and we're going to put it down with some Fabri-Tac. Excuse my reach, my little glue bucket there. Maybe I should cut this first. And it will kind of hide the fact that this one is kind of crooked, and so it's kind of wider down here and more narrow up there, and I hadn't even noticed that. But now I have, so it's a good thing we're covering it up, isn't it? Because that would have bugged me forever. All right. Kind of mark the spot there. Whoops. Okay. All right, and okay, so on the inside, oftentimes I'll reinforce the outside with fabric because it's pretty, and the inside, sometimes I use a strip of just 100% cotton to reinforce the inside. Sometimes I use some washi tape, and other times I've used, this is some kind of a medical tape. When I had my appendectomy, they gave me this. They put it over your incision, and it's really good for reinforcing spines, but I don't know where to get it exactly. If you look inside, it says 3M micropore. I bet you if you did a Google search or probably even searched on Amazon, you could find it. But this is really great for reinforcing spines. And it's, you know, self-adhesive, so you just stick it down and go. You don't have to glue anything. No fuss, no muss, just do it. All right, let me put this down before my glue dries. Gosh, I just get to yakking. All right, so there's that. And then I also want to kind of fold it, make sure it's going to fold. And then we'll tack it down on both sides. It's just that you want to do the final gluing with it folded because it kind of stretches out a little bit. You know. So my Fabri-Tac's getting low. I've got a big bottle, but I like it in the little bottle. It's easier to use until it gets low, and then it's about to tick me off here. All right. There we go. Just like that. Stick that down. Isn't that pretty? Now see, we're already getting fancy. I mean, last time we were doing a video, it was just 2 ugly manila envelopes, and now we got this pretty paper. Now we got some shiny satiny stuff. It's amazing how quick it turns into something. Trash to treasure. Why is it always happens when you're trying to film that things run out or don't want to work or get clogged up or yada yada? There's like a specific Murphy's Law just for videoing, you know? What can go wrong will go wrong, only ×3 for videos, I think. All right, and y'all know how Fabri-Tac, if you get a little leftover, it kind of rolls off. This will not do that. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to just roll it up if you get a little extra. So you have to be a little careful with that. Although I used my glue eraser when I got it on the paper, and it did remove it. However, it still leaves a little shiny spot. So keep that in mind if you're going to try that Tombow. And again, you know, I'm not being paid by them. Y'all, doesn't do me any good at all if you decide to try it. I was just telling you my experience in case you were curious. So there's that one. It is going to buckle when you open it up just because it stretches out when you close it. It's the law of, what is that, physics? I don't even know what that is, but it's just how it is. It's just how it happens. Where's my, there. I can't do anything without my bone folder. Make sure everything is adhered. Make sure it bends. Okay, we're good. Now let's do this. Oh, I forgot to burp my Fabri-Tac and it was throwing up on me. Oh, Fabri-Tac is such a needy child. So the trick is, so it doesn't vomit when you're done, push, 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 and don't let go until you turn it up, and then let go, and it sucks it back in sometimes. Other times, you have to burp it. Ah, there, burp it. And I was kind of slow, and I got a mess right there. I'm about to get a bigger mess. Gosh. My video is a really good example of what not to do. And do you think I've cut my stuff? No, I'm just gluing, gluing, gluing. I haven't cut it. It's still throwing up on me over here. Oh. I really have made something before, y'all. Once or twice even. And that goes there. Squish it down, squish it down. And we're just gonna cut it later because, you know, gives us more opportunities to screw things up while we're filming. It didn't turn out too bad. Try and get it straight. The ribbon will kind of stretch on you a little bit. It gets a little wonky. And my tummy's growling. I hope you can't hear that. What's for dinner tonight? I need something good for dinner. All right, now bend it and see. Oh, I think it needs to come over this way just a little bit. Can we get it over just a little? Whew. Yay. We need to scooch it over it a bit. That is just crooked. All right, now let's see. Oh my goodness. Are y'all just seriously embarrassed for me right now? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Almost there. Let's try and get it straight. Trying to get it straight and even. Gosh, I ask for so much. Straight and even. All in the same project. May not happen. Okay. Let's see if we need a little bit more glue on this side. Woo! Look how wonky that is. Oh, stop it, Sonny. Okay, a little bit on this side. Okay, let's see if we can't get this to work. I need to clean the whole oh, jeez. Maybe I should start over. Are y'all having a good laugh? Please be laughing. Please just be laughing at me and not getting irritated by me. Still a good day. I don't care. It's just still a very good day. Do, 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 do. Oh, and I didn't burp it. It's going to do the same thing again. There. Okay. And there we go. Okay, I think we finally got there. There. Okay, so now we have a reinforced spine. On the inside, I know, it took me a minute to get there, didn't it? Woo! On the inside, however, what are we going to do? Are we going to leave it? Are we going to put something down? I know what we're going to use. Ha! That just came to me. Here I go reaching again. Sorry. I am going to use electrical tape. Because it's black, just like the ribbon. And it's a little shiny, kind of like the ribbon. And it's good and strong. So there you go. Just lay that down, maybe. Trying to get it straight and centered. Electrical tape to make books. You betcha. Gotta be careful though and not stretch it too much or it pulls your paper. Because that electrical tape's really stretchy. Why don't I measure and cut things before I get going? Oh, I shouldn't try and do that. That's going to be a mess. There. There we go. Burnish, burnish, burnish. That's very crooked. It's more on this side than this side, but once you get your signature sewn in, you won't be seeing both sides at once. So that's forgiving. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice and strong. Oh yeah, that's not tearing out. Those signatures will be there forever. And again, I'm not measuring because it's just going to stick and make a mess. And so I'm just going to put it down and go. There we go. Again, don't pull it. I have a tendency to want to pull on it. And I shouldn't do that. So I hope I'm still halfway in frame. Sorry. You know, I can't work and be a director at the same time. So y'all just holler at me if it makes you feel better. I understand. Okay. There's that and there's that. Now, so I do recommend reinforcing your spine because it is just paper with something. Whether you want to use fabric or tapes or Tyvek, if you're going to use Tyvek or a tape, put it down before you put your papers on because you wouldn't want it showing over top of your papers. But if you have something that's a little more, you know, that has some kind of a appeal to it, it doesn't look bad, you can just go ahead and use that on top of your papers. So I'm cool with that showing. And I like the way that looks, definitely. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. But I just always worry about spines pulling out. Now, the next thing is, oh, and there's another option too. I didn't even think to tell you this. The other option is you can put your signature in and then put your fabric over and it will cover your threads. Personally, I like my threads to show and I'm going to have mine on the outside here, but you do have the option of sewing it in and then putting a fabric over it to hide whatever you've stitched with. So there's that worth mentioning, and you probably already know that. But anyway, now we get to decide. Well, no, I guess the next thing we decide is our papers. So I already went through and picked out my papers for my signatures. So for my front signature, I want to start with this real kind of heavy but pretty handmade mulberry paper because I think that looks nice right there. I've gone with my coffee dyed papers, some ledger paper. I always try and stick some of this grid paper in because I really like it. More coffee dyed. This is a handwriting tablet paper, like when you're a kid and learning to print. I picked that up at Walmart because I like it. There's more coffee dyed. There's a receipt, just right out of a receipt book. Just some papers. This is, what is this? Oh, this is deli paper. Got some deli paper. This is a linen type paper. And that's the center of that signature. So that's what's going in the front. Oh, poo, and I messed it up. And now that's not centered. Okay, see, I had them kind of the way I wanted them. And now I messed this one up, so I got to fix it. All right, so I kind of want that centered on there. And then I want that Okay, so some of my papers are different heights and different, I like that. If you want them uniform, well then cut them all the same. If you, I don't mind that it steps out like that, because you know, as you go to the center, it pushes further out. I don't mind that at all. Actually, it's going to stick out just a little bit in this book. See, just a teeny, still don't mind it. I thought about trimming it down. I kind of like that. It gives it a little interest. To me. To some people, it may be, I don't know, sloppy. If you find that it's unappealing for some reason, then don't do that. Okay, sorry. I noticed in my video the other day I was sniffling a lot. I apologize for that. I think it must be the warm weather's got something in the air. I don't mean to be sniffly. All right, so there you've got that. So then we want to decide what we're sewing it in with. Traditionally, signatures, I believe, were sewn in with waxed linen thread. The one advantage to the waxed linen is, since it's a little gummy with that wax on there, when you tie your knot, it kind of sticks it together. I've never had a problem with it coming undone, but I think if you use like an embroidery floss, which is also an option, since embroidery floss is kind of slick, it may kind of work loose, or you may be concerned that it would work loose. A drop of glue will take care of that, no problem. So I use a bunch of different things depending on my, I've even sewn a signature in with this Avril yarn stuff. I liked that one. I put that in a book that I did. Of course, I wouldn't use something like that, but you could use that. This is just a braiding cord that's cotton. I don't know if I've ever used it. I think I might have in one or two things. I like these. I like these because of the look of them. And I'm actually going to use this one for this particular journal. So this baker's twine, you can buy, Chalk Studio made this one. You can find it all over the place. I kind of like it. I've also used this, which is just like an embroidery floss. I haven't used these. I just threw those in there. But anyway, so options. Anything that works for you, that's what you ought to use. Just don't use something that breaks easily, or, I don't know, just a little common sense, I think, will get you there. So now, every video I've ever seen tells you to do 3 times the length of your book, and every time I do that, I waste so much. So I just kind of do 2, maybe a little more than 2 times, and I seem to come out okay. But I don't put my holes all the way to the end. I kind of bring my holes in, so maybe that's why I don't need 3 times.